tend to look at what we do as like painting brush strokes across the land. It's a blend of science and art. And so it really becomes this thing that sustains and creates itself continually over time, given the seasons and given, what's happening in the moment.
You know, a trail is a place to get from point A to point B, from the beginning to an end, but there's an experience of getting through that terrain that's also important.
I had this idea that when I grew up, I was going to spend some time with a man in a cabin, I don't know, in the woods. I met Daryl in 1970, and I was in a geology class, and we hiked around Fragrance Lake on the Chuckanuts up in Bellingham, and it was all through all this brush and stuff, and I was like, I'd never thought I'd had so much fun. So Daryl had cancer. He had 2 operations. And the second operation was to remove his lymph system, and that was really harsh. And after that, though, when he finally was almost recovered, not quite, we put backpacks together and we hiked into this cabin in this old growth forest. It's an old miner's cabin. We ended up spending 5 weeks there while he recovered, and we got to play house. It ended up kind of like a honeymoon. Fast forward a little bit, I got a degree in botany, and Daryl was studying in Yakima. We were sitting around his mother's big round table, and he and his brothers and a couple friends, we were like, what can we do where we could work together, make some money, have fun, and get to be together? And it was like, well, you know, trail maintenance was one of the line items. And we took on 50 miles of wilderness trail maintenance. And it would rain, and, you know, like we had just this little cart that Daryl built that we took out there with a few little tools. We had almost nothing. Ended up making about $1 an hour, but had a great time.
Well, so Avery was out, his first trail job, and that was not an easy one to get into. Packed him in about 7 or 8 miles over a 5,000-foot pass.
And this was 16 days after a C-section. And then we hiked on down to the camp, which was probably another 8 miles into the North Cascades. And so your daddy and you got to bond early on. You know, you were 2 weeks old. It was really special. That was, you know, some of the funnest times of my life.
Oh. The slow arc of my love for nature has taken many different turns. The connection that I have with nature today largely started from those early times. My experience was I also spent months in remote settings around the Pacific Northwest. In my teens, I really pushed hard against being on the road and moving around. I found it at times very disorienting, and it led into some pretty negative spaces. I always found that to be a difficult thing to articulate to people at home.
In 2008, there was almost zero government money. I think we had one job. I mean, my back went out late in the summer. Like, I was like, are we going to get work of any kind? and we bid on a number of projects. Contracting officer out of the Seattle area was like, I hope you're sitting down, because she had, I think, 3 contracts to award us. And I was like, well, do we have to take all of them? She said, yes. The first one was the Ice Cave Trail Bridge, which was huge, a 224-foot aluminum bridge. The second one was the Lava Canyon.
We're going to try to set it up there and have it brought in with the skyline. It'd be cheaper and more controlled.
And then the third one was Snoqualmie Lake, that we started late that fall and got snowed on. I mean, I feel breathless thinking of that summer. We were busy all summer. It was a big, big summer. And then that was a summer too that Avery was there, but he was sort of cracking that summer.
Beautiful things about trail building, they didn't quite happen until it was after I really had to do something else fully and completely to start to really appreciate the trail space. Music was offering me things that, being in remote settings, doing manual labor just cannot provide. And one of those was connections with people. And so that really fueled me until it didn't, until I couldn't function, basically. Why I left and started craving something more solid in my life, generally speaking, was my mental health. And so I wasn't taking care of myself. And then that fed into dealing with addiction issues. The consistent theme with my parents has been that they've been available when I needed them to step in, and for that I'll be forever grateful.
As a mother, I'd be able to do some things great, some things exceptionally, and some things because of my own limitations, my own scar tissue, my own challenges, I would not be able to do well. But I could give him mechanisms and insight into healing.
Looking back where I've been and where my family has gone and what we've accomplished as a family, I wouldn't take any of it back. It's hard to put into words how special it is to me.
Avery's interest in trails has always been evident in some form. He'll drift away and do other things. He needed the chance to find out where his true interests were. When you grow up in that environment, it gets to be a kind of part of who you are.
There are a lot of examples where I can see myself and my own worldly problems dramatically diminish when I am outside. That idea of being humbled in the presence of something that's bigger than you. As long as I'm able to walk and move around, I will spend the rest of my life finding myself in situations like that.
Trails bring you to the location. They're not an end in themselves. And I hear this over and over. People go out to the woods for healing, and nature is such a powerful healer. So the trails are one of the ways to get there. They're not the only way.
I hiked with my girlfriend a trail project that my parents had built in 1979, and I could see our benefit hiking the trail, connecting with each other and connecting with nature immensely in that moment. It was such a special thing, and my parents had played a direct role in that. And so when I think about trail building for me, it's about that idea of creating a lasting impact throughout generations yet to come.
And now it's a little harder to get around to go to those more remote settings that we could get to in the early days. But those memories are always there with us of what that was like, and we can use those memories to inform our lives even to today. We treasure the natural world and want to maintain and enhance that so that future generations have access to all of this. That's plenty for me to be motivated by.